So he heard that musical presentation of the roster, and hearing that, representation inspired him to request a collaboration upon pulling out the pistol. Let's collaborate. That's why I say when you're given the attention, and he apologized immediately. Hey man, you didn't have to interrupt my music. We could be doing a roster song together, he said. So in other words, he pulled out the pistols to demand.
In half a mile, continue on to US 65 South.
He pulled out the pistol to demand that we collaborate together. He wanted to act tough from it. He had some ambiguity in there and acting tough with it. But the culture is such that it's gonna humble you. It's gonna automatically humble you. And I said, brother, you pulled out the pistol on me because you accusing me of interrupting your session. You owe me an apology. You owe me an apology, brother. He immediately apologized. He immediately said, wait, you'll never see a brother. I knew he was strapped as soon as he was banging on my door. But I said, you know what? You ain't gonna get the bang on my door. Because I know you were sent here. I know you were sent here. But you hear this culture I represent. You heard it in the lyrics. And you about to get set straight for banging on my door. When I first heard, like I said, he had some, and I knew I was able to do this. You can't do this unless you train to observe. I heard some affirmations of what he was doing with the brother whose studio it was, who was next door to me. The space that I'm renting out in the building. I heard some positive affirmations and advice that he was giving them in artistic development. So I know, okay, you giving this artistic development, you trying to speak on this positive stuff, and now you banging on my door because you strapped, but you're gonna have to honor what I'm about to tell you. You're gonna have to honor this. So he immediately had to apologize. First of all, you're supposed to knock on the door and tell me you about to record. You writing. If you writing, I'm writing. You see my studio right here. You heard me reciting. You heard me reciting and didn't say, hey, I'm about to record. So you bogus for banging on my door because I could be about to record. But you wanted to record with me. And that's cool because I wanted to record with you. But we have to have criteria for a recording. You got to have structure. That segues back all of its full circles. That's what I'm saying. You have to have an artistic integrity with all that we're doing, and it'll be your shield. It'll be your Ephesians 6:11. It'll be your sword and shield. It'll already be structured within place. Shout out Gianna Major. She made that trick. Your producers already know how to make your songs for you. My producers make songs knowing how I'm going to write my songs. Gigi Major from Tidewater. What she made? Ephesians 6:11. She said, I'm going to give my writer his sword and his shield. Come on now. Telling you what I know. I'm not telling you about something I make up. When it comes to pass, I can just talk on it. I can go in Faircon mode. What Faircon say? He gets look at a scribble eating rope. I ain't even looking at the scribbles right now. Usually I'm uncomposed. Usually check out some of my other videos. When something like this comes to pass, it's just so crystal as this day is about what needs to be said. I don't have to rehearse it because I rant on it daily. I rant on it daily. I get criticized about it daily. People have the audacity to even call me a coon. Now, those who grow up with me, those who grew up with me know I'm more qualified than Malcolm X in a sense. I gotta say in a sense because I respect the models still, but I didn't have a Gavier daddy. My daddy was a pimp. And I decided to go from righteous to righteousness based off of the street tribe, just based off of the statement of love and the oath. That's what my street tribe know. So that's more, that's as charismatic. I'm gonna say like that. That's definitely as charismatic as Malcolm. As an orphan, embrace the statement of love, the oath and the Fatiha, growth and development. And then, you know, you can't just be out there, you can't just be outside, just be showboat, all your wealth. You know, I saw something else, they bragging, oh, you just on YouTube gossiping and, you know, you ain't really trying to establish some shit. I saw some type of meme. You know, he had $1 million life insurance. At least he did that, left his family something. You see, all these are reactionary memes to what they know gonna be said from those who not trying to wish nothing on nobody whatsoever. But they know that we've already been prophesizing, avoiding of this type of stuff. So now they want to try to shame us into saying, you know what? You know, you want to make it a comparison type of situation. No, we trying to say lies. You know, these guys, they spend all of their time trying to say that they're better than us because, you know, there's a certain amount of money just study the lyrics. I'll bring the lyrics out. You know, I'm so much better than you because I got this car and you didn't, and you don't have this car, and I got this money, and so I'm better than you because this is what I have. When you're not focusing on the collective struggle that's necessary to avoid the jealousy. And the structure, building the structure to avoid the jealousy. That's supposed to be the prime message. That's been my message. That's why I'm proud. That's why I can take this message. Because my message since day one was Free Life Records. Was the name of it. Anybody who got a grievance with me, or me, you know, most people don't have a grievance with me who I've had a history with throughout my career. Because they know. Like they say with Hakeem Olajuwon, when Charles Barkley and all these guys, when they talk about their relationship with him, they say honorable. That's how they think of him. That's how all my peers got to reflect when they think of me. Honorable. Anything that you mention about me from day one, honorable. So, you know, I can give these types of, it's about avoidance. It's about being preventative. And like I say, if you don't have a trap, if you're moving on from the trap, all right, if you're moving on from the trap, you got to be involved with housing. It's the biggest investment that people gonna make in their life. And so you can't be talking about nothing of self-determination if you're not including yourself with people who involved with housing. You gotta be. That's first and foremost. That's my criticism to anybody who involved with anything, whether you in politics, whether you in any field, dentistry, as an electrician myself, you have to understand the importance of housing. And be making those moves towards establishing ownership of real estate. Prime focus, a prime collective fiscal discussion that has to be part of your partnering, where you can refer others towards, or give insight towards, or give a contribution towards with your trade. Financing of it, putting your money towards it, developing the skilled trades with it. prime areas of developing skills. You gotta be involved with it. It's teaching you the bookkeeping skills for other tax understandings and benefits and shelters. And not just saying, okay, yeah, do this, but having comprehensive partnering that you can refer them towards, so that they can then become part of a savings team or a bird dogging team where they're going and they're looking up the comparables of a particular home, what needs to be established for the renovation, the holding periods that's associated in this area. What's the after fix-up price? Involved with all those aspects. And then including that for other businesses. Okay, so we said housing, but also being part of that team and financing other businesses. Not just housing being one key, and then also either that same team or your funds being dispersed, having diversity with your investments towards other businesses. Rather it be one platform that's funding other businesses or other people who you know. You have to locate these areas. If you want to do the stock market, that's cool, or you want to find individuals who you can invest in their businesses. And of course, as far as International Black Forum, we're on the forefront of financing the innovation. We want to finance the actual innovation, the students, the inventors, a part of these different systems and these different industries. We want to be on the forefront of financing people who are making individual innovations in the agriculture, in robotics, in transportation, power generation. Some areas I can think of personally that I want to be involved with, putting money towards, studying the time that I'll be studying. So, these are the type of partnerships that you have to be embracing if you're talking about, if you're getting that proportionate amount of attention that the people need to not feel hopeless. You have to be involved, because, you can have the best intentions in the world, but if you're not part of a structure that has all of these, as I was just saying, I thought I was just recording, and I wasn't. You want to be involved with housing as an integral aspect of your investment. If you're moving, transitioning from hip hop and or any type of, a type of bad scenario where you're transitioning for the better, it has to include housing. And like I said, it can't just be a mass amount of attention just given to you in a rich dad, poor dad sort of sense. He's already milked that tour. He's already milking that income potential. When you talk about the rich dad, poor dad tour, that's what a lot of these rappers are doing. They're associated with right now. Rich dad, poor dad tours. Invest in real estate. Do this. Don't be in a rat race. Everyone's mimicking the Japanese American writer there, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want him to have success as he tour, but we have to have diversity. He tells you in the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. You don't want to exhaust. You don't want to exhaust a tour. He's exhausted the Rich Dad Poor Dad speech. We understand this philosophy. You can't be in a rat race. So let's talk about some specific strategies of real estate. We gotta have specific strategies of how we're pulling our money towards it. specific strategies that you have for whether if you're going to flip it or if you're going to be in the holding strategy, that's going to ensure that if you're going to hold it, that's going to incentivize your tenants to stay there, that's going to empower them maybe to have some money saved up towards them moving on to another residency that you may have. You have to have some, now it's time to fine-tune. It's time to fine-tune your rich dad, poor dad strategy with some other like-minded, self-determined individuals, because we know that there's going to be some red line in there. You might not be able to get the financing that someone else can get, but we're not going to sit up and complain about someone else who can get that financing, because now if someone else can complain about that potential financing, you just creating a self-defeated potential, a self-defeated narrative. Someone's gonna come along and say, "Hey, I got denied all this," and then you're gonna have a bunch of people saying, we got denied this, and then we're gonna have a certain group out of that selection who's gonna get picked, who's gonna get rewarded. Then we're gonna be upset at them, and so let's avoid all of that by having a platform where we structure that finance. We know that's going to be key. Let's structure our own financing, and we can have some conventional methods as well. We don't have to completely exclude them, but we're going to have to include, we're not going to completely exclude the conventional methods, but we can have some non-conventional methods where we pool our money together and make some goals happen. Make some goals happen. And like I say, this is going to prevent people who may be raised in a single family home, who mother maybe didn't go do what she needed to do to ensure she had two incomes, because that's what created this young man. Most likely was raised in a single family home, you see, where, you have temper tantrums if you don't get what you want. You feel angry at the world if you don't get what you want. You feel jealousy. This breeds jealousy if you don't get these types of material types of situations. You don't have the father there who you may see struggling through a job, who's been fired or something like that. You don't see a father who may have multiple wives like Barack Obama daddy did, who can help him get back on his feet so he can aspire towards political office. You may not have those types of things. So, you're going to respond out of jealousy, and you're going to combat society with jealousy, and you're going to target and prey on your other brother, who you don't see an inclusive aspect to his clothing line, or to the block that he's now repurchased. You don't see him and T.I. working together with their purchasing of the blocks to give you training as an electrician. They might have hired, someone who's created from the sanctuary state that Stacey Abrams and California is creating. They might have hired someone from the sanctuary state status in these two states that are promoting those very chiefly now. And now this brother, he's been left on the forefront to now just embellish in the culture of a bunch of tattoos. And that's not really filling the void that's necessary, of jealousy, so that, now he's got to target his other brother with a bunch of tattoos. The tattoos ain't filling the cultural void. When the brother upped the gat on me the other day in Des Moines, you feel me? Because I feel as though it was some self-esteem issues, maybe. You feel me? Got time for no goddamn tattoos. And see, this who we promoting. And see, this ain't no, when you promote, when you investing, when this is what you're placing your intellectual capital towards, you have a void. You end up with a void. And what do you fill these voids with? When When you see somebody else with something that you're not gonna attain. Jealousy. Jealousy. Your heart becomes filled with hatred and jealousy. Because you don't have any other interests. You don't have a brother who you can see aspiring towards other interests. You feel hopeless. You become consumed with jealousy and other negative feelings. You know? And then you have these other superficial affirmations that really don't have that much value, like slang. Yeah, you can see the power of its influence, and it's cool, but you have to have other tangibles with that. Other broad intangibles with these types of things. And see, you know, when you got these guys that's involved with the artisan work, you have this automation allows an inflation of fake artisan work. And then you have a jealousy towards that artisan work. No disrespect to the brother, he passed, but look at his lyrics. When you talk about artistry as a hip-hop MC, as a hip-hop MC, this is an artisan craft. Damn, don't kill him, man. Don't kill him. Damn, he just tried to run him off the road. Y'all be careful out here. This is an artisan craft. Y'all be careful when you're driving. Even driving a semi is an artisan craft. He just almost killed this man right in front of me. Okay? This is an artisan craft. As an MC. So you have to assess anybody who involved with this artisan craft and say, what is the inspiration from this artisan craft? What is the artwork of it? What is it inspiring? Is it inspiring death and destruction? And I'm not talking about the reactionary tangibles. Once you see the grassroots is involved with other tangibles that's collective and self-determined, you know. But if the primary source of your artisan craft as an MC is defeated, trapping, you feel me? You ain't really got no poetic depth. You gotta have super poetic depths. And I'm talking about that's proportionate to the amount of attention that's given to you. You can't even say a peer in another crowd because they dumbing down everybody. You have to look at it to a proportionate amount of attention that's given into a populace of people where the interest is actually towards their self-determination. Because right now we're in the age where dumbing down is the agenda. Dumbing down is the agenda. So you have to look at it from a perspective of people who are critical thinkers, who are people who are accomplishing, who are aspiring. You have to look at it from you have to gauge it towards what they're exposed to. They're not gonna expose their children to. You see what they're exposing their kids to, things that'll be uplifting, even if they aren't eligible intellectually to it. What the admission tests right now that's coming out. A lot of things in context right now that's placing it within context. When you talk about the payment admissions, they're paying for a structure that a collective pool of people who understand what's in the interest of society you have this structure there. And they're not going to bombard them with self-destructive entities. It's a structure that's going to embody self-determination for that group of people, for that privileged group of people. So we as a people, the masses, have to determine what we're going to be exposed to that's going to inspire us to put our best foot forward. We can't say we're going to be haphazard as artisans in the hip-hop craft and then expect these other people who are dumbed down, you see, not to interact with us in this dumbed down way of conflict resolution. That's what you got. Otherwise, you're gonna have these incidents. If you can't think, from a perspective of chess, you can't speak from a perspective of chess. You're gonna be punished as a checker player trying to play chess move in a chess globe, or a chess world, a chess universe. Have to think from a cause and effect perspective. Have to think from a cause and effect perspective. I connected a lot of dots on some of the grievances that I have. Tough love, being all encompassing. We can't be controlled agents. Part of that, not being controlled agent, is being as multifaceted as much as we can, and including the multifaceted structure, building from scratch these multifaceted structures, from the grassroots level up. That should be expedited proportionately with who you are in association with on the mainstream level. If you're involved with mainstream people, then you're supposed to see mainstream proportionate results immediately. You're supposed to see immediate results. Donald Trump is demonstrating this. When you're in a situation where you can be involved with mainstream societal institutions to impact the swamp, you gotta come through. You can't have no excuses on not being able to drain the swamp in your particular area. If you trying to drain the industry swamp on hip hop, you gotta be involved on the grassroots the majority of your time to drain the swamp. If most of your time is with the bronze and all these swamp creatures, that's what they are. If they can't avoid, if they can't reach out and make the homies on the grassroots level feel included, then they're part of the swamp. And the proof is they always following the narrative of the swamp. Because what happens, like I said, we can't have a narrative where you have the hood thinking, oh, if I get back to the hood, they just gonna kill me. No, they not. No, the hood will protect you. You can't be naive. You gotta be structured. And it's gonna be embarrassing moments. You're gonna be embarrassed. I get embarrassed. I go back to the hood. The guys, they don't embrace me as much as they should because I don't have the celebrities and all this type of stuff. And that's okay. I can tell them, hey, if I come with the celebrities, they ain't gonna really want to do nothing for the hood. They gonna want me to keep all my lyrics deaf in destruction. They want me to have compromised lyrics. for a few photo ops, and then if I do decide to take on anything, that's even, you know, they can sacrifice me. So you can't be vulnerable like that. You have to have that grassroots as an integral part of your structure. Integral part. And when I say that, I mean platforms, consistent weekly platforms where the people are invited to, where they see the shares, the transparency in the shares, that they can, you know, that they can immediately put investments towards, or immediately come and get commission payments towards. Not just advice, oh, you need to do this, that, that. No. The actual blueprint, the actual invitation, the actual employment application, or at least a commission structure where at your next venue they get paid, or they perform, or they're a writer, or it's gonna be a house that they're gonna be able to come in and hang some drywall up in. That's what you have to have when you're in these hoods. That's what's if you sit down with a Nick Cannon, these guys with tens of millions of dollars. If you can sit
in 2 miles, take exit 179 toward Iowa 330 South.
If you can sit down with somebody with tens of millions of dollars, like I say, 200 people with $400 each, it's $80,000. $80,000 is gonna renovate you a house. It's gonna get you some sweat equity. You can hire at least 23 people. You talk about the different teams of electricians, carpenters, landscapers, roofers, into a home, and then you keep that going. Now you got these types of teams who you continuously hire. You're supposed to have that if you're getting that type of attention. And you're sitting down with the LeBron, that's immediate. If they're giving you access, if you're giving this person access, and then you're sending them to the hood, and he's having access with you, and you are millions, you have to immediately have him with that housing aspect as part of his agenda if he in the hood, period. Because from that, you got multiple investors who you can surround him with to protect them. What was the
in half a mile, take exit 179 toward Iowa 330 South.
That's the type of structure that will allow him to stay amongst his hood. You can't just go stand and you the only motherfucker balling. You have to be involved with housing. You gotta be involved with housing and employing people.
Take exit 179.
Got to.
In a quarter mile, turn left onto Iowa 330 South.
Because you got to look at it. What's going to replace the trap? The trap. You look at a trap averaging about hiring 23 people. I'm telling you from a trap experience.
Turn left onto Iowa 330 South.
Around there, we had way more than that, but you can say that's about an average trap size. Most people will agree. Solo instrumental. It's more Le Monk. It's gonna include elements of the diary to my soul. Also working on my autobiography. The autobiographies titled. Autobiography is titled. What is the autobiography title here? Check the notes. It's not gonna let me check my notes here. first closing bid. Doesn't want to shut. I'm getting so tired of this interface of this emoto. I don't want to enter a title. I just want to save it. Okay. This is a new verse. Okay, yeah, I use this as the intro to the Peace Soul track. Soul track. Okay. Now, the title is Diary of the Soul. Diary of the Soul. Diary of the Soul, white kids. And that was kind of, I don't know if I'm gonna keep that. You know, I think you know, you don't want to compromise the integrity of your brand to reach a different demographic for sales. But I think that ambiguity there, the inclusiveness, it can be accounted for during the writing, of course. It's not to place any blame. It's basically to give an inclusion of my understanding historically. You know, when you ask these types of questions, you know, our history not beginning with slavery, and the inclusion of the humanity as far as it includes and relates to my story. And I believe that everyone should be able to relate their story to humanity. Not that if you don't want to include that aspect, if you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to have that broadness, it doesn't mean that your autobiography is of lesser substance. If you have a different way in which you want to present your autobiography, but you know, the inspiration that I have for my presentation is inclusive in these types of facets because of, you know, how I want to associate it with the International Black Forum. That's a platform in which I want to communicate, you know, the sales of multiple businesses, of course, and the collaboration of different entities. So, of course, including my story on the international platform is part of that consistency, the understanding, and always, you know, including other lecturers. Not that I'm going to be a major lecturer. I like to see myself as more being focused on being an MC, being a hip-hop MC, and having that as the most, you know, the forefront of my delivery of people embracing me. You know, but this has to be a dynamic where we're embracing different people who have different functions. Cooling down. My phone is getting too hot, it says. Okay, I don't understand how that's. Oh, okay, I got the heat right on it. How about that? Let's change the heat to the defrost there. I got the vent right on it. Okay, so let's cool it down for a second first. Cool it down. See if we can get it cooled down. I had the heat right on the phone in this compartment there. We're going to cool the phone down so we can continue with the communication. But yeah, it's in the, and I think I can segue here in the context of the current event. We lost a brother out there in LA, Nipsey Hustle. It's unfortunate. I think, you know, it's key upon us to be encompassing, to be all-encompassing. You know, I think he was making strides towards that understanding, towards that necessity. He was independent. A lot of memes that I'm seeing are alluding towards the independent representation that he encompassed, that he was encompassing of. And I think, you know, when you're encompassing of independent, then it's important to have a culture that's collectively embracing this independence of self-determination in multiple areas so that the enthusiasm towards it, so that the collective mass, the mass participation, the enthusiasm and embracing this mass participation isn't just a facade. It isn't just for us to be in photo ops. And I've been embraced by street tribe brothers in the shop who I've complained to. Check my timeline. Brothers who are within the top hierarchy. And and then the next few months, they're inviting me to brotherhood. And then a few weeks later, I see them in photo ops with top elected officials. And I had a complaint that, I don't want to be part of just some type of facade. Even though these brothers have affirmations. They can show you photo ops with their children. They have employment. But is this trickling down enough? It wasn't trickling down enough to my satisfaction. So I wasn't trying to be part of those photo ops, and they were embracing me, embracing my upbringing amongst the tribes. But I'm not for trying to just get no photo ops with Miss. I believe it was Anita Alvarez. The image that's coming to my head at the point when I was making a complaint, when I was voicing the grievance. And the reason why, because these types of things come to pass. If we're putting forth a false illusion of these collective efforts, and you have people who really aren't feeling a part of this, and who are really vulnerable to any type of if you want to put it, the conspiracy aspect. If he was, I just had a pistol pulled on me last week. Check my timeline. Had to talk my way out of it. The brother, eventually gave me he was able to see the humble aspects of me enough so that he could put the pistol away. But just last week, I could have been 2 consecutive weeks of these types of stories. I'm an independent guy, but not that I'm on the level of this guy, Nipsey Hustle, but maybe that, the guy who pulled the pistol on me, he was able to see, he heard some of it was some aspects that I know inspired his jealousy. It inspired his jealousy. I saw some affirmations of him that I wasn't even able to compliment yet. I wrote about him, check my timeline. All this happened before the brother Nipsey. So what I'm doing right now is in a reactionary aspect to the brother's death. It isn't reactionary. When I speak, I don't have to be in a reactionary state, because I'm always voicing grievances that avoid these types of situations, that prevent them. I have grievances that prevent these types of situations. The brother, he looks like my older brother. Look at him. I'm going to be posting some pictures of him. He looks like my older brother. Around the time when he was 2013 come to end, 2013, 2014, I remember viewing some of his videos, some of his interviews, and I saw the similarities in the potential for our narratives. I think his brother was just coming home from jail. My older brother was just coming home from jail. He was alluding towards, including that in his hip hop communications. That would have been some prospects for me. I was preaching since 2004 about my older brother, stuck in the zone. No longer living that fast. I had to ease back time. He could move in the breeze. Had to seize opportunities. Degrees of community besides whether it's greed and it's murderous plots. You can never get your brain to acknowledge it first till it's bullets in your frame. It's pain is worse. Facing reality, fatality's another that's gone. I lost a cousin. My older brother stuck in his zone. I love him. As well as siblings know I'm missing them much. Foster home's only reason opposition is such. Think about you. Hope your heart can feel when it's touched too. Like Hezekiah said, things will come when it's just due. The homies in the prison been assigned to cell. Know that your memory is with me. Confined as well. Freedom is preserved from the rigors of jail. It's God willing. We all got a place from this hell. It's God's children. This 2004. It's 2004. Stephen Moses on the third track. Hezekiah Ruckus. Dayton, Ohio. G. Kimmons, Virginia Beach on the track. God's children. It's for my soldiers, the mobs of crime. All the homies that was buried, for moms that cried, tears that the world shared, get prepared in this life. It's God willing. Forgotten the fact we God's children. We talk about these types of situations all day because I'm on the forefront of avoiding them. Mentoring. You see? You have to associate it, you know, and I saw the lectures. Some of my friends posts I've shared out on the lecture tour. Out on a lecturing tour, talking about the investment in real estate. Since 2004, this is what Free Life Records has been involved with those who we mentor. Multiple trades. So that, you know, when you come at me, if I'm in your neighborhood or if I'm in mine, you have to say, hey, this guy's not just an affirmation for music. You know, I can learn some skilled trades that I can then build a business off of. That's what, you know, all these guys who taking pictures, all you guys who have photo ops with him, you're supposed to have the inclusion in these photo ops on the work sites. On the work sites that's giving other opportunities. I'm driving past work sites. You know, these are civil engineering work sites, you know, so that, you know, people don't feel displaced, you know, so people can feel included, so that they can know that they can have an aspect of inclusion towards these renovations, so that they don't have to be wallowing within jealousy. So now, you know, you don't want the narrative to be out of the situation. You know, the hell with the hood. The hell with going back and investing in the hood. The hell with that. No, you have to be structured. You have to be structured. We have to be structured. You have to be structured, you know. If the entirety of your lyrics, if the entirety of the body of your lyrics is about self-destruction, and then you're about to make that transition, there has to be structure. Those who have the capabilities, the Cubes, the Snoops, you know, just the other day, last week leading up, we have Snoops, you know, saying that, you know, starting with the coach of LA, you know, they need to be shipped off in slave ships. Slipped off in slave ships. It's the type of language that's being used leading up to the death of the brothers being shot. Snoop Dogg. You know, all these guys focusing on Trump. I think I even saw some lyrics from Nipsey Hustle, where he's speaking disparagingly against Trump, as though the Ku Klux Klan, Trump is going to inspire the Ku Klux Klan to come to LA and take his property, and all these types of conspiracies that people want to associate with the champ. And now the champ, his reaction has been after this, hey, I've been champion justice before. This is a preventative measure. We're creating jobs This guy should have been involved on one of my work sites that I've created. You know, we got to do it better. I said, hey, we got the jobs. Now it's the time to teach the people who are employed, It's time to teach them how to collectively pool our money so that you can move about and start businesses so that you don't feel a sense of jealousy. That's what I've been saying. Because if you don't have that type of training and that type of collective mindset, then the only thing they're going to see is you taking all these pictures. If you're in the hood, you getting invited to the Grammys, and you're not inviting them. It's automated. You know, it's an automated situation. Trump's taking away the automation because you have mass hiring. The automation of the hiring process is canceled out when you have a big demand. All these work sites, you know, everywhere you go across America, you got work sites. That's what I see when I'm driving. So, you know, Trump is anti-vaccine. Trump don't have any, Trump anti-vaccine. Check his words. He said he on the record recently. I'm anti-vaccine, the champ says. So, you know, conspiracies of the pharmaceutical hitmen doesn't apply. Shoe don't fit. Shoe don't fit on that. Was this young man probably raised by a single family mother? Was he raised by probably a single family? If a lot of shoes fit on the stuff I have, a lot of fit. I bet he wasn't raised by a father in the house. He was consumed with jealousy. These are the type of stuff I complain about. He wasn't raised with no man in the house. He was raised in the home to worship vanity by some single family mother. This guy who killed y'all, you know, our beloved hustler, a hip-hop hustler rapper. You know, I'm looking at his lyrics. They were saying some of his greatest lyrics. You have to atone for these lyrics. I got a right to be able to say this. I ain't bashing this man in his death. People talking about if you don't accept that he was doing this, that, and the third, then, you know, these reactionaries already had their scripts made out for who they gonna sacrifice. Nah, when you come out here and you're gonna be on the forefront of this self-determination, you have to then make atonement for all of that language that you breathe, that you put in the air of glorifying this vanity. Because I'm reading the lyrics. That's now just being sold, what they say, 2,000 times, 2,000 something, almost 3,000% increase. I look at numbers and data. 3,000 something increase. The next Tupac, all this type of stuff. You know, if you got a you know, I can go out and be sad and really, you know, these many years later for Tupac Shakur, who was assassinated. You know, I did time with Yummy Sandifer, and then I'm next door to Renzo saying, I can mourn this here later. And I'm not saying you shouldn't mourn the brother who passed. You know, he looked like the Ethiopian Rastafari. He's still 33. He could have aspired to being, you know, if we'd have put the protection behind him. If we'd have put the protection behind him, he might have been a bit capable of living up to the standards of the Ethiopian emperor, to resist the colonialism. Gavi has some criticism towards Selassie with his embracing the vanity in a sense, I believe. He had some choice words for him. I think Sarah Sutton said he touched in on that. So, you know, we can give criticism towards people who we want to be successful so that we can avoid some of the things that made us vulnerable. You know, you have to be a certain type of scholar with the types of critical thinking to make these types of contributions right after these types of events, because you don't want to be in a reactionary state. You don't want to be in an emotional state. You know, you want to be able to reflect down your timeline so that you can make these assertions and say, hey, things came to pass that I've been preaching about. Maybe I'm worth a listen on some of these areas. Maybe I'm worth a listen on some of these areas, because I've been saying this, doing this. You know, I've been ranting real hard for the last 10 years. Last 2004, Trials and Tribulations came out, where service, if we have a collective spirit of service and lyrics, then we can avoid these types of situations. The brother pulled the pistol out on me. As he's pulling the pistol out, he said, man, I heard some of the reggae sound you was doing. You know, you hear me over here recording. We could have been doing this song together. No, you were just upset that you heard the consciousness of my lyrics, and it made you feel a certain type of way about yours. So, you know, this provoked you to do what you're doing now with the pistol, but you're apologizing because you know that's the right thing to do. And you hear something that's inclusive, something collective, the cultural aspects of the reggae. Only Rasta man can liberate the people he heard. I can incorporate this into my music. It's something cultural. So, yeah, I'm gonna respond with some ignorance, but God already has an element from the culture instilled there that's gonna diffuse the situation so that we can aspire towards something together collectively. Okay? That's what we need. That's what you have to have it. And it's still, I'm not saying if he didn't have that element there in his lyrics, that some situations of violence could have occurred. There's other elements that I just expressed about as far as the structural aspects, as far as all these other people who have the means, all these other people who are now coming out and getting stripes from giving condolences. These are the people who could have been, you know, more on the forefront of providing that structure that could have had more facets of interest for the brother, that maybe could have gave that brother who decided from jealousy to make this decision, maybe he could have felt another aspect of inclusion. You know, we get LeBron to the King James, you know. I heard some of his lyrics in his music. You know, it wasn't more glorifying cultural aspects or his business creation. You know, it was glorifying some of the vanity aspects. I remember going on rants about that then. I think around that time I was ranting on the King about some of the data that was associated with his foundation. But then he stepped it up. He's been stepping it up with the school and so forth. You know, we have to keep that. We have to keep continuously improving these measures so that, you know, brothers, you know, I saw the brother, the picture I'm seeing of who they're accusing it of, he's super tatted up. He's super, is that inclusive? You know, I even seen some of the brother who just passed Nipsey. A lot of some of his recent pictures, when you see him, he's covering up a lot of those mass tattoos. Because you understand the type of energy that it invites. Yes, it could be artwork, but is the mass of that artwork cultural related, or is the mass of it worship and demons and, you know? Is it, you know? Is it gonna aid you with your self-determination and people seeing you, okay, if I hire this guy for my, you know, there's a lot of people out in the skilled trades, don't get me wrong. But trust me, I'm a skilled tradesman. I've been a skilled tradesman for 20 years. And an MC. So you're doing two of these things. And you know, it involves a lot of artistry. But if you're developing your craft and your artistry and skilled trades and multiple skilled trades, you're nation building. And you're also involved with the cultural representative with your dashikis and so forth. I'm just telling you my interests. And then when you have all these interests, and like I say, when you involved with what's needed for the nation building, the intellectual capital. Imagwali said, when you come back home, you better have some intellectual capital. Talking all this polygamy. You want these wives. You want to be a chief when you come back home. You want all this king stuff. Everybody kings. What intellectual capital can you rap about? What's your intellectual capital? You have to be continuously, you know, all these women. I had a woman, sister. She was a BBW. She was sexy. I liked her. But she complained to the sisters afterwards, oh, he ain't got no tattoos. Or, oh, he, you know, they got the, oh, if he ain't tied up, he must be gay and all this type of dumbass shit. I ain't got time to be putting my artistic creation towards no motherfucking tattoo. Let somebody draw up on me all day. Another man draw on my body all day. I'm thinking about how he gonna draw the next piece of artwork on my body. I got time for that shit. I'm mastering skilled trades. I can work on a punch break. I can work on a punch break. I mean a press break. A punch. You know what I'm saying? A laser. Boilers. Multiple horsepower boilers. All types of electrical apparatus. CNC machines. This shit you make airplanes with. You got, we found in newspapers, African Times newspapers, energy efficiency programs. You gotta make the preventative maintenance for people's homes, installation systems. So if some shit happen, goddammit, Trump doing studies on electromagnetic pulse, if some shit happen and your motherfucking electric grid go down, how you gonna get some electricity in your house? That's what I'm on the forefront of being able to come in and aid. Okay? How you gonna keep your systems up? Fuck a tattoo. That's supposed to be sexy to you, woman. You see what I'm saying? I can make an airplane. The equipment that make airplanes, the equipment that make cars. That's what we can rap about.